second half of the 2018 FF1M season begins at the Hockenheim rig, and it's the old Hockenheim as well, a circuit I adore. I might have mentioned it a few times in previous races, but yes, the old Hockenheim, and I've got two commentators alongside me. I've got one of my favourites alongside some bloke from Shake and Bake. Firstly, it's Joseph Willows.
Oh, thank you for calling me your favourite person. I really appreciate that.
And then some bloke. He's called Courtney from Shake and Bake.
You're right.
And as you can see, the map 4 long straights, overtaking friendly, but also chaos friendly. And we're expecting one stops all around. I think that's the first time that's happened this season, so everyone's going to be pretty heavy at the beginning, but pretty fair race between all of them. Last time out at Silverstone, it was a Tornado 1-2. Charles Leclerc got his second win of the season in a pretty good drive, I have to say. He was on a heavier 2-stop strategy and lapping quicker than the 3-stopping James Clark. And then Vino Kimmonen second, then the two Ajayrious third and fourth. Things didn't go well for either of you two. We'll start off with you, Courtney, because Alonso's suspension failed on lap 3.
Yeah, I remember that, and then I remember turning it off, I think. Did I? I don't know. I do that sometimes.
At least Nolan Bryant got a 7th place, and Willows, you had Max Verstappen crunching into an errant tyre left by Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, not a great day, was it? Yeah, it's just, well, it looked like we were looking pretty decent around Silverstone, and well, more bad luck has to happen. Didn't involve an engine this time though, with that one. Just some bad luck in the wind.
Yeah, but at least you're both in the race, unlike Galaxy, which is, let's be honest, a formality. I'm calling it, I don't think they're going to make another race this season.
Yeah, shame really.
And AJ failing to qualify as well. That is their 4th DNQ of the season, which means that GRM are back in a race, because they were out of Silverstone, which means Valtteri Bottas can finally celebrate his 100th race.
Yeah, to the delight of George Roke.
On to qualifying, and I'm going to say this loudly because the CBA Racing team boss is next to me in the other room. Thomas Gonzalez is on pole position. He's happy with that. Caterina Caracciola, her first front row of the season, and that actually means that for the first time ever, that's an all-Judd front row. I'm happy with that. I don't think...
What have you done to the engines, man?
I have brought some upgrades for this race. It's my 3rd of the season. I understand that you've brought some upgrades as well.
Myself? No, I missed the upgrades for this one. It's Hungary instead, I think, that I brought them to.
AJ's given me some false information then. Anyway...
Unless I have snuck it in. I thought it was Hungary, but yeah, you know, because obviously you want to bring your engine upgrades for Hungary rather than this one.
Well, I don't know about that, because the long straights, of course. Surely you want to keep that close to your chest, probably, Courtney.
Nah, it's fine, don't worry. Don't worry about it. That's just what they want you to think.
I should probably go through the rest of the grid, actually. You have Magnussen 3rd, Farina 4th, and Ricciardo out-qualifying Vettel. Perez in 10th, out-qualifying Bottas for the first time this season, who himself is 17th. Charles Leclerc, twice race winner, 13th. And the big shock, actually, is James Clark, way down in 20th. And I've discovered, actually, of the qualifying battles between teammates, the Ajayrious is actually the widest gap. Farina has been consistently quicker than Clark, out-qualified in all 10 races so far, and the gap between those two is the biggest.
Bit of a Red Bull system going on there.
A little bit, but Clark has usually been the one stuck on mediums for Saturday, whereas Farina's on the softs. I guess understandable, because Farina is leading the championship.
Yeah, I mean, he's had an amazing season, really. I don't think really that many people saw it coming. I don't even think the team boss saw it coming from the beginning of the season.
Nah, I think that's down to carrying their chassis over from last season to this season. I thought they were having a new chassis this season, but it turns out that they weren't, and that's why they're leading the championship, although not having won a race since Aragon.
Right, I suspect some qualifying modes here.
Some qualifying modes potentially, but the lights go out and Thomas Gonzalez gets away well. Magnussen has taken Caracciola for second, going to the Nord curve. And further back, can we see any movers? Kimmonen is up a place, past Daniel Ricciardo for 5th. And the two FJRs going side by side with Farina lurking in the background. Let's see what happens. There's usually a lot of Barney into the Jim Clark chicane. And so far fairly well behaved. It's Gonzalez from Magnussen. Is Farina taking Caracciola for third? Well, they're side by side as they go down the straight towards the Ost curve.
Looks like everybody's kept it clean, surprisingly.
And Taylor's had a good start. He's up from 9th to 7th on this first lap into the Ost curve. And Ricciardo, he's had an awful start. Where's he gone? Because he was 5th on the grid and he's dropped way down to 11th as a Tilsley nearly shortcuts but decides better of it.
I don't think you saw that there, Brickles, but Leclerc just made an insane dive bomb going into that chicane there. He's gained a load of places and has got himself up into 11th place.
I didn't catch that. Well spotted. It's shown as 10th, so has he overtaken Ricciardo as well? I should point out Andrews were not at all quick in warm-up, so they may be spending the whole race plummeting as Leclerc takes a monolith for 9th. That's Hülkenberg, who also gained a couple of positions. Hülkenberg, winner of the German Grand Prix in 2010 and 2011 for Mitchell.
How do you remember all these facts?
They're stored somewhere, but Magnussen has taken the lead of the race from Thomas Gonzalez into the Nord curve. That was pretty decisive, and now Gonzalez under pressure from Farina down the long straight. And it looks like Farina's already taken it. And one of your drivers making a move, Courtney. That's Alonso versus Taylor, or is it Alonso versus Kinnunen?
Right, down the inside. Oh, this could be contact. No, well behaved.
Not quite contact. It was Alonso who rolled a lot of times in the 2016 race after Nicholas Latifi. Had his last race there, and last race ended in ramming Alonso out of the way.
It was a good end then.
King Latifi for you.
Went out with a bang.
The good old goat.
And, Yep, I was just going to mention that my guys have actually gained a few places as well. 15th and 18th at the moment. Verstappen actually the biggest charger at the moment. He's actually the 4th highest on the soft tyres at the moment. So noticing a very interesting differential when it comes... a difference in terms of tyre strategy for this one.
Absolutely, as we see Magnussen, who's slowly starting to come under pressure from Farina, is... Have we got Courtney back?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Cool, that's fine. So, Magnussen leading, exiting the second lap onto the third lap, but it is Farina who is the fastest driver on the circuit. Not by much, that was about half a tenth, as Alonso now looks to challenge Caracciola, as Leclerc himself looks to challenge Mason Taylor for 7th place. Let's see the straight line difference between the CBA and the Tornado.
Getting alongside Taylor, battle for 7th place. It looks like Taylor's holding his own at the moment though, because Leclerc isn't, I think he's gaining a bit, but not by a lot. So it seems like these upgrades for the Jord, even though Leclerc's got the move done, seems to be a little bit more better on the straight, because I think with the previous iteration of the engine, I think Leclerc would have got him quite easily.
Yes, and there's Alonso passing Caracciola for 4th place into the Ost curve, and now Kinnunen looking to challenge the Swiss driver. As I'm just looking at the rest of the order, Hamilton's had an awful start. He's dropped down to last. So I wonder if he's had a bit of an incident with somebody during the opening couple of laps.
Bryant's dropped a few positions, I think, as well. Was he around that point anyway? But and he's dropping more. Doesn't bode well.
That was against Esteban Ocon for 12th place. Ocon in the monolith. Both monoliths retired very early from Silverstone due to Hülkenberg blowing an engine, and then Ocon getting caught in the ensuing pile-up that his own teammate created.
I thought we were going to have a Della Rosa moment there. Was it Della Rosa that year where I think he drove for Shake and Bake?
Yeah, emerging into the first corner upside down. There's an engine failure. Is that a monolith? I think that's Hülkenberg that's blown up once again. So another heart attack.
Yep, probably want to go and get that checked out. But it is a terminal issue, of course, because he hasn't got the pit indicator on the def panel at the top. As I just saw in the background there, one of my guys was starting to make a bit of movement. Not sure which one it was, because I don't think the timing screen has updated that well, to be honest, because I don't think my two guys were next to each other at that time. So, yeah, but yeah, disappointing for Hockenheim.
Very disappointing, but less so for Alonso, who is taking third from pole sitter Thomas Gonzalez into the Ostkurve. And next, and Gonzalez is basically looking backwards, I think, at this stage.
As Kymmenen is making progress forward, confirmation Hockenheim is out, as he's going to take 4th place. In fact, look at the straight line speed that Kymmenen's able to produce. So whilst Leclerc was struggling to get by Taylor, it seems like Kymmenen had no problems getting by Taylor's teammate Gonzalez there.
And Kymmenen's got quite a lot of fuel on board as well, so he could be looking good if those early pitters get stuck in traffic. As we now look at Caracciola versus Gonzalez, that's topping out at 334 kilometres an hour, about 210, maybe just a bit less than that. Into the slipstream once again.
That's not bad.
And alongside Gonzalez goes Caracciola. Caracciola nicked a point off of Gonzalez in the last race at Silverstone when Gonzalez's engine blew up coming out of the final corner on the final lap.
There was one year when was it Hamilton crashed on the final lap of this race?
2016, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, gifting Magnussen the win, and yeah, a little behind the scenes, we had to re-record that because it was missed out in the original edit.
Yeah, it just abruptly cut to the results and we all just went, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to re-record it, and you and Tobias did some very good acting, which I didn't do a very good job of, yeah.
Yeah, you Tommy Wiseau'd it at the end.
I did a bit, yeah.
James Clark moving up into 8th place ahead of Mason Taylor. Clark making some great progress in the early stages, started 20th on the grid. He's already in the points by lap 7, and Magnussen has actually pulled away a little bit from Farina. It's now 1.3 as Chuck Bucknam zooms up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi to stop being in last place.
Good move for him there. So yeah, you mentioned that Farina's probably losing a bit of time. Has he probably used his tyres up a bit too much trying to catch Magnussen? Who knows? Well, he has gained a little bit that time because he's gained 2 tenths. We just see Clark there getting up into 7th place as Gonzalez continues to tumble down the order.
Yeah, he had a very poor run out of the Nord curve and is now under pressure from Taylor, as Sebastian Vettel now comes under pressure from Esteban Ocon, and this could get a little bit dicey into Jim Clark, but he's going to have to wait until the Ostkurve. Andrew's running hard tyres, interestingly. They may have forgotten to update the spreadsheet. And look at that straight line speed that the Andrew doesn't have as Ocon drives past him.
Hard tyres does have the advantage of less errors, but I think we're at a development stage now where it's probably you probably might as well just run the mediums regardless.
Well, curiously, Andrews run the hards at Silverstone, and both drivers made race-ending errors, so yeah.
True, yeah.
Quite unusual.
I did watch that race, actually. I do remember. I think I thought about rage quitting when Alonso retired right at the start, but I thought, no. Let's be a good sport. Let's hang around until the end.
And James Clark not hanging around, as he's now up to 6th place past Charles Leclerc. So Clark now in the top 6. That was a replay as Leclerc briefly tucked back into the slipstream. Now we've shifted onto another lap. This is Clark versus Caracciola.
Before we were looking at, of course, we saw that Taylor got by on Gonzalez. So Gonzalez continuing to drop backwards. Seems like a different approach going on in the CBA camp.
Potentially, and looks like different approaches between Farina and Clark. They're on different compounds of tyres, as has been the case for most of the season, but it's paying off in the race so far for Clark, as he nearly gets tagged by Caracciola into the Ostkurve, but takes 5th place nonetheless.
You've done this before,
there had to kind
of... Sorry, you go.
Oh, sorry, Courtney. Oh no, I was just going to say Caracciola had to kind of back out of that just to avoid the collision. So kind of got a little bit scared there of Clark.
Gonzalez versus Ocon into the Nord curve. Ocon doing pretty well, and he's taken that position off of Gonzalez. And Gonzalez, he's not got good traction at all out of the Nord curve because he's fallen out of slipstream range.
Does make you think that Gonzalez was heavily focused on qualifying, because so far his race pace has just been nowhere, and it can't be fuel, of course, because as you said earlier on, everybody's doing a one-stop.
You say that, but looking at it was a very brief shot at Magnussen in the early laps. He did not have a lot of fuel on at all, so is Magnussen going rogue and actually two-stopping? But we'll find out in a few laps as chop goes Sebastian Vettel on Sergio Perez, who's having an appalling season for GRM. He's not scored any points so far. GRM in general not having a good season because they sit 12th in the Teams Championship and have managed to get themselves disqualified from Montreal.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, really. Has there been any other team other than them that has ever been disqualified from a race before?
There have been drivers who have been disqualified for poor driving. There was instances in the 2000 season. You'll remember this one, Courtney. It was Ralf Schumacher tipping both MRDs into a barrel roll at Monza, and then seconds later shunting his own teammate into the gravel.
That was a brilliant performance. Shouldn't have got disqualified. He should have been given a medal.
Yeah. And then, contact between Perez and Vettel into the Jim Clark, as Perez didn't give Vettel a lot of breathing room, but nevertheless, up into 11th place goes the Mexican, as Nolan Bryant looks to challenge Vettel for now 12th place.
Having a look to the outside, and very close to contact there. Vettel was nearly getting bullied around a little bit there, but just about kept it clean for the moment, and Vettel currently holds on to that position.
New fastest lap for Alessandro Farina, so he's got the bung out and is now closing up to Magnussen, as I think Magnussen approaches his first pit stop on lap 14, so I think he's gone a bit rogue and going 2 stops.
Going very aggressive is K-Mag, it seems, but he's probably not liking the fact that Farina is probably on a different strategy. I didn't quite catch his fuel though to see if he was doing something similar with K-Mag or not, but he's probably not liking the fact that he's got the Gajera breathing down on him again.
Well, the Gajera has been the car to beat this season, and I think there was a brief shot. Farina, I think, has got 5 more laps of fuel compared to Magnussen, but for a one-stop, that's still quite early for Farina. Farina was second in warm-up, so he has got a good car for the race.
Indeed so, as coming into the bus stop chicane we now take a look at Ocon. He's now on the back of Taylor. We saw Taylor was on a charge, but now it seems that Ocon clearly wanting to get this team some more points this season.
Absolutely, and up into 8th, into the inside line of the Jim Clark chicane. Ocon uses the brakes, uses his medium good years to take that position away. And Monolith, they're becoming a manufacturer team next season. Play Life entering FF1M next season.
Yeah, very very happy for Heaven there. Hopefully, maybe we could see Monolith progress through the field now that they're going to be a manufacturer team, because it seems like there is some kind of benefit to going in that direction. I know that, of course, since I used to be a manufacturer team at one point before, issues with Ilmore made me go into the customer direction, and we've basically just been rebuilding from there. But yeah, good luck to Heaven, really.
You've not looked back since your Jesse B engines, have you?
Can we just clarify, because I know Courtney is in here, he had no influence on that. That was all on me.
Yeah.
Right? We've only had one conversation in regards to liveries, but it didn't involve that. It involved something else that we were planning, but that plan has gone south because of a reset that's happening for next year.
By the way, the amount of fuel that Kevin Magnussen took on board was colossal. He is actually on a one-stop strategy, but just pitted very early.
Yes, so at the moment Leclerc finding himself in an FJR sandwich, probably not liking the fact he is the meat in that sandwich. Maybe James Brickles does, but that's a different story.
Bit of monegasque meat.
as Clark actually overtakes Kimmonen there. Of course, I don't think Kimmonen has pitted yet, so not really that much, unless I'm lost. Speaking of a Gajera who is pitting this lap, it is Farina, who's currently leading the race at the moment. Got an 11.5 second gap over Alonso at the moment, who seems to be running a pretty lonely race, it must be said.
It's Clark who's actually pitting at the end of this lap. That's the P3 on top of his head-up display, currently 2.3 seconds behind Fernando Alonso, but some of his progress in the early stage, that would have been down to a lighter car, and I am not particularly optimistic about Magnussen's one-stop strategy playing off, because on his first flying lap he was only 15th quickest, so yeah, I'm not too confident that it's going to get him a podium.
Yeah, and you've got to consider as well that tyre life, he's going to have to conserve those tyres a little bit more than what others are doing, which, yeah, that's going to be quite interesting, let's put it that way.
It's going to be a handful, as Clark also committing to a one-stop. Briefly moves Kimmonen up into third place. And through, that was Esteban Ocon. So, yeah, Clark rejoining in 8th place. So let's see how this pans out for both Magnussen and Clark, as Farina sets a new fastest lap, a 1 minute 33.3, as Alonso is now due into the pits, end of lap 18, so he's gone a little bit early as well.
So all of these guys are sticking on one stop then?
Yes. Which is why I'm not particularly optimistic about Magnussen.
I suppose it's nearly halfway. Yeah.
Whilst we're watching Alonso make... Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, whilst we were watching Alonso make his pit stop, I did notice on the timing screen, for some reason, the two CBA cars, their medium tyre is a lowercase m. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what's that about, but I don't know if that's a special thing for CBA. I don't know. Something weird there.
No, reused rubber. You're not meant to do that.
They're running scrub tyres constantly. And Alonso got passed by Ocon on the out lap. Ocon due a pit stop soon, but travelling very well, the 4th quickest driver on the circuit that lap. And now we've got Alessandro Farina coming into the pits. So I don't think Kimmonen's going to be pitting this lap, so it could be that he'll temporarily lead, but it's looking good for Farina, I have to say. He's got the race pace, and pitting a little bit later than both Magnussen, Alonso and Clark.
I think he's been the man to beat all season, really, Farina.
Yes, I think so. Certainly in the opening series of races. But again, bear in mind, he's not won since Aragon, and that was round 4.
He retired from the lead in Canada, didn't he? Has he had any other reliability woes since then?
Yes, he had one in Road America, I think. His brakes failed.
Never want that one.
Definitely not a Road America as well, especially going into Canada corner.
Meanwhile, your guy's just been overtaken by... I was just going to say, Magnus has just been overtaken by Ocon, as we've got a yellow flag actually down at the stadium section.
And the hard tyres of the Andrew Racing, which make less errors than the softer compounds, and he's made an error.
Off he goes into the gravel trap. Luckily, gets himself onto the grass there, so no chance of getting beached at that part, but a long road to recovery. Ocon now in the pits.
Ocon pitting from a very strong position, having overtaken Magnussen for what was briefly 5th place. Looking good for points, I have to say.
Ocon's been brilliant this season.
Had a fantastic drive at the Österreich to 5th place. Aggressive drive, good strategy. Monolith doing well.
I'd say both monoliths have been doing pretty well, but obviously Ocon's been the one that's probably out of the two of them done the better job so far.
I think so as well, and Yeah, it's a long overdue debut. Let's have a look at James Clark versus Fernando Alonso. That is for position, a net position it could well be for third place once Kinnunen makes his pit stop.
Yeah, I might have had something to do with that with Ocon, because I think he was in my FF1M team for a very long time.
It was indeed, yes. As now Kinnunen pits, having led for a few laps since Farina's pit stop, and turn right into his garage. And a new set of medium Firestones going on.
Somebody else will be joining him in the pits as well in the first garage. As Farina now in the lead of the race, legitimately now, with Kinnunen in. Obviously, what's interesting to note is, I'm curious to this, because you mentioned that everybody's on the one stop, but clearly everybody is trying to stretch that a little bit longer compared to others, so they're obviously going to have the fresher tyres, the ones that are staying out a lot longer, so be curious to see how they impact the race come the end of it.
And there's key one there. Kinnunen has jumped Kevin Magnussen for third, so Magnussen had obviously pitted very early, and that's not paid off at all for him. But could still be a net third once Charles Leclerc makes his pit stop, but I doubt Kevin's going to be able to stay there. That car that you mentioned, the other pit garage coming into the pits, that was Caterina Caracciola.
Whilst we're on the topic of a tornado, because we were looking at Kinnunen earlier, his teammate Leclerc is finally going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Curious to see where he comes out, because there's quite a lot of cars are kind of in a group with each other, so he's probably going to end up rejoining in the middle of one.
Yeah, his target is to get out somewhere around Fernando Alonso. The gap's 19.5 seconds. He could do it. I don't think he'll jump Clark. That's a bit too small a gap.
I think if he doesn't come out ahead of Alonso, he'll quickly get past him because he's looking fast as it is, regardless of when he puts on the fresh rubber.
Speaking of rubber, do you have an ad read to do, Courtney?
Oh, I forgot about
God.
that. Thank you for reminding me of my contractual obligations. Hold on a minute.
Us more yellows it's George Russell out of the race. Gearbox has gone on the Tilsley.
A shame for him.
Yeah, Tilsley, have to say, I think they've done all right this season. That's behind Gonzalez, so Leclerc, never mind behind Alonso, he's behind Thomas Gonzalez as well. But yeah, Tilsley, I think, doing quite well, considering that they've basically stuck to their hard tyres all season. But yeah,
Run with a pretty inexperienced driver lineup as well, which, safe to say, raised a few eyebrows.
Yes, both have finished in the points at a couple of races. He had Giovinazzi 7th at Road America, and then George Russell also finishing 7th at Montreal. We're basically at 2/3 distance now, and it is Alessandro Farina who leads by 20.3 seconds from Väinö Kinnunen. Magnussen at third, slowly starting to come under pressure now from James Clark. This will be the tyre effect, I think. Although actually, Clark's tyres aren't that much younger. It was only like 3 or 4 laps younger than Magnussen's, so this is a little bit more on pace. So I'm interested to see how Charles Leclerc is going to do in the closing stages. By the way, Gonzalez did have another pit stop to make because he's dropped down to 10th place.
Courtney going to do his ad read?
I was waiting for a suitable moment. Now, how far through the race are we? About 70% or so. Anyway, speaking of 70%, there's 70% off, up to 70% off of bondage on Love Honey at the moment. Got a nice sale going on there. Things like the 50 Shades of Grey Restrain Me bondage rope, down from $19.99 to $11.99. I mean, if you like that book, you're a fucking loser. But oh wait, I swore. Sorry. Yeah, if you like that if you like that book, get a better taste in porn. Sorry, not sorry.
That's got nothing compared to the 80% deal you can get off engine parts from James Brickles' long-lost twin sister, Jessie Bates.
Yeah. You can get some good deals from her, reasonable prices. She'll sell you anything.
No restraints
Anyway.
from Kevin Magnussen as he retook Clark for third going into the Oscar. Clark did take that final podium place going into Jim Clark, but Magnussen retook that. And just behind, I think Alonso is about to come under pressure from Charles Leclerc. Meanwhile, Caracciola 7th, Ocon 8th. So that's the order as it is now, everyone having made a pit stop, except for the two Mitchells, Hamilton and Bucknam, yet to pit.
Do you think we've got any 50 Shades of Grey fans that have upset with my comments earlier? I feel like there's not a lot of overlap between 50 Shades of Grey and FF1M.
Well, depends on the livery, I suppose. If there's any liveries that are a certain shade of colour.
Leclerc versus Alonso for 5th into Jim Clark, and Leclerc nearly slicing Alonso's nose off in the process, but back in the slipstream, and here's back in the slipstream James Clark on Kevin Magnussen. This is going into the Ost curve this time, and we usually see that the driver on the outside normally loses out, but Magnussen's tucked back into the corner.
Charles Leclerc strikes me as the kind of guy that would like 50 Shades of Grey. It is not porn, it is art. No, it's porn. Just be honest. There's nothing wrong with it. Just be honest.
Speaking of Leclerc, he's about to... Well, I'm not sure how to segue into that, but he's about to take 4th place.
Better segue than... Speaking of porn...
This has gone slightly off the rails, but Leclerc has taken 4th off of Magnussen. And with Alonso dropping back, is he going to come under pressure from Caracciola? We'll wait for the lap times to update at the end of lap 35. Unusually low attrition rate for Hockenheim. We've only had the 2 retirements, Hülkenberg and Russell.
That's very surprising, considering that this circuit has got a reputation for reliability problems, especially considering the engine takes quite a bit of strain out of a circuit like this, because you're on the power for most of the lap.
Absolutely, and always Max Verstappen has pulled out the race with an electrical issue, so Jesse B's equipment is not working.
God damn it.
You just properly commentate as Kirsten there.
Brilliant. I apologise profusely.
Is that... We seem to be getting the problem still, whereas the other Judd engines don't seem to have a problem, which I don't know. It's probably the way I've set up my car, I don't know. But, yeah, not great. Not great at all.
And remember that customer teams do have a little bit more unreliability just because of installations and all that.
Yeah.
2 Hearts out of the race, but the other Hearts, Giovinazzi still running, as is Esteban Ocon in 8th place. Quickly mention the engine trophy, by the way, which is a little sub-championship that I've made up.
I want to talk about 50 Shades of Grey a bit more.
No thanks.
50 Shades of Bryant.
Sorry, carry on.
Hamilton looking at Bottas, by the way, into the Nord curve, and that was a decisive move. The engine trophy, so Mugen currently leads that on 119 points, Climax on 97, Megatron 73, Judd 45 and Hart on 20, but all engines seem to be consistently scoring, so fairly interesting, but not as interesting as Bottas retaking Hamilton for 14th place. Looking to do something for his 100th race, but GRM's seemingly off the pace. I wonder if it's their engines.
As is the Andrew that we were talking about earlier. I mean,
oh no, Ocon!
To get a, oh, that's such a shame.
That is a shame indeed. Ocon driving very well, on for a point, but the gearbox has gone wrong. So that's promoted Thomas Gonzalez into the points, pole sitter Gonzalez, so looking to salvage something from CBA's race, who, let's be honest, they just haven't had the pace, but that is Hamilton versus Vettel. That is 2 former shake and bake champions going at it.
Yeah, I was really expecting a lot more retirements from this race. Normally the gravel traps around this circuit resemble the beach scene at the start of Saving Private Ryan, but no, absolutely not a lot of carnage. Maybe I should have run my engines a bit higher, I don't know about you guys. Ooh, that's a bit tight.
Well, it was a little bit tight, yes. I will say that I am running maximum ERS for this race. By the sounds of it, you went a little bit less than maximum, because you weren't that quick in warm-up, actually. It was Alonso...
I've gone quite conservative. Whenever I tickle anything above about 60, it's just like playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun.
Pretty much, yeah. Alonso 11th and then Bryant 13th in the warm-up, but Alonso's in the points nonetheless. We are on the final lap, and for Hockenheim standards, it's been a fairly sedate race.
Yeah, really surprising, indeed. We just saw Farina there lap Vettel while he was battling with Hamilton. Can you remember when that was a title battle in 2007, was it?
Hamilton Vettel, yeah.
How times have changed.
Absolutely.
Was that Vettel driving for me back then?
Vettel was driving for Dark Wolf, one of the successful teams from the noughties. And Hamilton was a shake and bake driver with Gianmaria Bruni as his teammate.
Oh god, yeah, the Bruni arc. God, that went badly.
It went very badly for Bruni. And you've got Tornado's, one of his representatives, Liam Neeson, to blame for that. But rounding out the final couple of corners, Alessandro Farina going to return to winning ways. And that's his 4th win of the season, back on top step of the podium. In a typically quick race at Hockenheim, less than 70 minutes to complete. We'll be soon to complete the podium finishes. Where is Väinö Kimmonen? We're focusing on the race winner, and now we focus on the race results. So 4th career win for Farina, ahead of Väinö Kimmonen 2nd, and James Clark. Very good drive from him, from 20th up into 3rd. Probably a candidate for driver of the day, I reckon.
Yeah. Really good comeback drive from him there. Not quite the 1-2 though. Kimmonen able to split the pair of them as he's trying everything to hold on to his crown, but the way it's going at the moment, Farina looks like he's going to be untouchable for the rest of the season, because he really is on form right now, especially the Gajera team, who, well, if it's anything to go by, of course, I don't know if anybody watches FF1M, but I believe his driver, John-Eric Verne, ended up winning the championship in that. I believe it was his driver. Only saying that because he beat my driver to the title. So, yeah, Cooper Lee.
And to complete the top 8, it was Charles Leclerc 4th, Magnussen 5th, 6th Alonso, Caracciola 7th, and 8th Thomas Gonzalez. And there's a look at the rest of the order, and both monoliths once again retiring from the race, so Hart's again proving not that reliable.
Grosjean only just missing out on the top 10 finish in the end, so not bad, but would have liked to have got a couple of points after the upgraded engine we got, but here's the championship.
And it's Alessandro Farina leading by now 22 points from Fernando Alonso and Väinö Kimmonen, but Alonso ahead, I assume on countback, but I'll have to double check that, as Charles Leclerc and James Clark also tied on points, but because Leclerc has wins and Clark doesn't, Leclerc is legitimately in 4th in the championship, and Magnussen inches away from Lewis Hamilton. As for the team's championship, it is Gajera on 122 points from Tornado, Shake and Bake slipping back a little bit, now on 73 points, and FJR move up to 4th ahead of Mitchell, and CBA hold 6th in the team's championship. And as before, Galaxy yet to score, yet to qualify for another race.
Yep, and we're still behind AJ by 6 points, who have not qualified in 4 races, so a little bit embarrassing, but got to work harder, I suppose.
Well, the next race is a completely different sort of circuit. It's more about the twists and turns of the Hungaroring. So we'll see how the cars work there. From the 3 of us, we shall see you for then.
Sayonara.
Bye, and if you watch 50 Shades of Grey, try 365 Days on Netflix instead. It's much better. Can maybe cut that last part out.